Aloha y'all, Daniel Aaron here, your guide to vibrant living, and this may sound ridiculous, controversial, go against a lot of what you've heard. Let me put it this way though. That dude back there, Ganesha, known commonly as the remover of obstacles, and the point of this video is to help you to create the life that you most desire. What if you could become your own guru? What if your own guru is actually a future version of you? Which means, if you follow along for a moment, that the obstacle to you really living your best life, becoming who you want to be most, having what you want, doing what you want, the obstacle is the present moment. Right? That's like so much of our spiritual practice is about becoming present. And I'm not really going against that or arguing with that. Here's the thing though. Humans have a big problem. Well, many. One big problem though is we get fixated on what's right in front of us, right? We get seduced by the world of the senses, what's called Maya. The illusion that all this, what I can hear, see, touch, smell, taste, that all of that is all there is. And yet, we live in a multidimensional universe. There are infinite possibilities. If we tune in to other possibilities, other energetics, other frequencies, vibrations, well, we become those. So part of how I first discovered into this was many years ago when I was leading yoga teacher trainings, which were really thinly disguised programs for personal and spiritual development. And I was studying deeply into learning, accelerated learning, how to learn best. I came across the work of this guy by the name of Benjamin Zander. And at first it was a talk, kind of like a TED Talk. I think it was called Pop Tech. And he was a professor, he was a conductor, he was a professor in Boston, and he was teaching very high-level musicians. And what he discovered was that these musicians, they were really like the elite musicians. They were wound up so tight and playing so technically correct that they tended to miss the music, the art of it. So he discovered early on, he said, well, how am I going to help them get free of this? And he said, I know. And he had them at the beginning of each semester write him a letter saying, I totally rocked your class. I got an A+, and this is how I did it. I did this, this, and this, which maybe I don't normally do. I didn't do this, this, and this, which maybe I usually do, right? And when they future paced, as they say in NLP, themselves to that incredible result, having rocked the class, well, then it freed them up from some of the anxiety and worry that was leading to it. Now, I thought this is great. And as Picasso said, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Well, I stole that technique and I've used it with clients and students ever since. It's a beautiful one. And I credit Benjamin Zander with it. So, what does it do for us? Here's the thing, and here's another Benjamin, as it turns out. Ben Hardy wrote a book recently called Be Your Future Self Now. And Neville Goddard, in his great work, right, talks about this all throughout. Whatever it is you want, imagine it. Make your imagination so real that you're living in it and you energetically align to it, you become that. So what's the greatest obstacle to all that we want, all that we can become? It's the present moment. And see, the thing is, our identity is the strongest determiner of what we experience in our lives. In other words, who I think I am. Well, I'm a guy that makes this much money. I'm a guy that has this kind of relationships. I'm a guy that performs like this in athletics. Whatever my identity says I am, well, guess what? My outer experience is going to correspond exactly with my perception of myself. So if I want to create something different, if you want to create something different, we need to invest ourselves in the future. And that's not an easy thing for most of us because we're trained to pay attention to what's right in front of us. The human animal part of ourselves is hardwired to be on the lookout for what's right here. So it takes some training, some exercise, some effort, some attention to place ourselves in the future. It's what I call the CDIP, the creative dynamic inward process. And I encourage you to every day invest some of your energy, some of your time into whatever version of the CDIP you wish. And if you want to connect with me and go further into how I teach that and support people with that, that is so much of what we do in my 7-week transformational program called Living the Vibration of Vibrancy. Either way though, the creative CDIP stands for Creative Dynamic Inward Process. And what that means is for some part of every day, we withdraw the senses, right? It's what in yoga is called pratyahara. We withdraw ourselves from this moment, from all that our senses are telling us. We go inside, inward process. And it's not just that we're escaping, no, we are going in there and dynamically and creatively imagining our future. Creative dynamic inward process, the CDIP. All right, what do you think? Is this crazy talk? Is this sacrilege to say that being in the moment is destroying our possibilities? What's your experience with this? What do you think? I would love to hear from you. I hope that this was entertaining, interesting, maybe even better, empowering to you to really live your most thriving, vibrant life. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.